Everybody talking about the weekend, I don't see the hype though. Winning's done on Wednesday, see that with your eyes closed. Every hump day, 9 o'clock on the dot. The insurance syndicate be dropping gems, don't believe me, just watch. The insurance syndicate be dropping gems, don't believe me, just watch. The insurance syndicate be dropping gems, don't believe me, just watch.
Good morning, Syndicate members. What is happening? It's Wednesday. We are live from Austin, Texas. I am here with my good buddy, Joe Badiah. So you guys know him.
Oh, it's a thing now.
PNC. So we are here ready to kick off winning on Wednesdays. Joe, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. That's I like that. That's a good every week. We'll see how much more creative you can get. Man, I'm doing good.
Now you figured out what I'm doing. Okay. It only took 2 weeks.
Only 2 weeks.
You learn quick. You learn quick.
Something like that.
Good deal. How's your week going, my man?
Dude, it's been freaking amazing. It's been popping off. I've been having to fire on all cylinders. Wifey's down at in the valley for work, so I've had Laura. So just getting up early, getting her breakfast, getting her lunch packed, getting her to school, get to the office, and we've just been getting after it. We've had an amazing week. Just kicked off a couple new things here within Redwood for our agents, and there are trip incentives included, but we are now literally going to have like preferred exclusive Redwood leads for all of our either auto, so PNC people, as well as life people. So I'm super excited about that. That really just came to fruition within the past probably week and a half, 2 weeks, and it's freaking sick. So I'm super excited for that. Man, we're firing on all cylinders, so I'm feeling good. How about you?
Very good, man. I'm doing outstanding. We have my weekly win, man. We had a killer booth set up at the Latin Market event here in Round Rock. So every month, right? I think I've mentioned this before. Every month, there's a group here in North Austin area, Round Rock, Texas, called Latin American Market. And they basically throw out a flea market or farmer's market, if you will, of all the different Latin vendors in the area to come out, show off their wares, their food, their clothes, their homemade jewelry, whatever it might be. And then there's a few insurance folks out there, including us. So we gave away a free 65-inch television. Big Amazon Fire TV. It went over like gangbusters. I think we picked up probably about 85 to 90 leads in our raffle. So those are going to our system to nurture and see what we can develop some extra content or extra sales out of it. But it was good. It was good to kind of give to the community, get that stir, get your brand out there a little more. And, giving away a TV is certainly a way to get some attention. So It was funny because the TV wasn't there when we started the day, right? It was just our booth, and we had our raffle, and we had tickets, and they were like, "What TV? I don't see." And we had a little 24-inch TV sitting over there, and they're looking at that, and they're like, "What are y'all talking about? Free TV?" And then at noon, finally, Best Buy allowed me to go pick up the 65-inch and bring it out there. So then I brought it out there and set it up. Next thing you know, raffle tickets were flying.
That's sweet.
And then lucky winner got it. Young girl. She was actually one of the booth vendors herself. Nicole Duarte won it. But
cool.
I'm not sure who was more excited, her or her dad. Because her dad was on scene with her,
right?
But he was absolutely pumped to see his daughter win that TV. So that was a heck of a lot of fun, man. It went over success, and we're just looking forward to doing it again next month. So we're going not the TV. We're going to do the TV every quarter.
I'm Latino now.
Be there with our event.
I'm showing up.
Anybody, as long as you're 18 and up, you can enter to win. We're pretty open on who can enter. It's a free raffle. You just fill out the ticket, drop it in, and we'll roll from there. So that was a heck of a lot of fun. We've been doing that event now since October of last year. They do it the first Sunday of every month. We've already made money on the deal. It's only $40 to attend. So other than the work involved to set your booth up, we made profit the first time we were out there. We made 2 sales, made $1,000 first year commissions.
That's great.
Not to mention renewals. So we basically paid for the event at this point. Now it's just gravy and having fun.
Yep.
So,
I love that. And community awareness, presence. That's a true grassroots marketing, right? And I love that. And that we've talked about it. I come from I worked at a farmer's market I didn't miss a single Saturday for over 10 years. Like I'm all about, that's like where my sales start, like free samples of pulled pork. How often you get free these days? Trying to get them to buy by the pound,
Absolutely.
Like get them with the sample though. That's awesome, man. And kudos to y'all for sticking with it. Because I know there are some weekends too, right? Like I know you guys had the one time where the tent like took flight it's windy, man. And
I had that thing nailed down in the dirt and everything with stakes. No, 40 mile an hour gust ripped it right out of the earth. It almost flew off like a kite. So I bought some more weights, more ballast weights to help mount it down. And we've added a TV on a rack as well that we have inside our booth that runs Grace's YouTube channel on it, which is kind of cool. So when people come in, when it's quieter around there, they can kind of see that. So we've got a few more tricks up our sleeve they're going to add to it next. But it's been a work in progress. It's been a heck of a lot of fun, though.
Love it.
But man, I am super excited for our guest that we have today. Yes.
Before we bring him on, make sure, guys, StreamYard, come on. Make sure StreamYard can view your comments, right? So that we can see who's commenting. We would love to put you up on the actual stream as well. So please make sure I put it in the it's in the caption of the actual video and in the comments. So please make sure, just because otherwise it looks like this, which.
Right.
Good morning.
We'd rather know who you are.
As well, but
we'd rather be able to see that Johnny Brock and Mitch Gibson are dropping comments for us, not just some random Facebook user. So please let StreamYard see your Facebook comments, and we can make this a little more community driven. But anyway, we've got an outstanding guest coming up. If you guys have been following me around on the podcast for the last couple of years, you might recognize this guy as a great friend of mine. I've known him for about 12 years now. I've been working with him on different life insurance and Medicare products, but he runs an outstanding outfit up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They have a second office in Oklahoma City, Strong Family Financial. They are a powerhouse in pretty much all things retirement needs, whether it's your Medicare products that you need help with, your life insurance, your annuities, long-term care, whatever you might need. They are a full service retirement center. So they have been doing an outstanding job. And I am super excited to have him on. This guy is a bag full of enthusiasm. If I could say anything else about him, he is definitely that. So please, everybody, give me a warm welcome. Let's get my good buddy, Allie Saleh, on the show. And we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about activity and mindset today. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing outstanding. How are you both doing today, guys?
Awesome, man. It is great to see you. It's been a while since you and I have been on screen together.
Man, I'm telling you, I've been like hiding from everybody. Just like hiding. What is going on? Joe, how are you doing, sir? Man, I'd love to be on the show with you guys. I was so excited when you asked me, Tony. So
yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for joining us. Well, why don't you just take a quick minute, tell all of our viewers a little about who you are, what you're doing up there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and kind of what you're excited about, and certainly what your weekly win is.
My weekly, that's right, the weekly win. I love that. I love that you guys sparked that, the weekly win. Well, first of all, my name is Allie Saleh, for those that don't know, and I'm one of the partners at Strong Family Financial. It's an insurance agency here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Mr. Jamie Strong is our founder. He kickstarted this bad boy back in 2005. I had the great fortune to get involved with him in 2009. By the way, guys, how's my sound? Do I sound okay?
Yeah.
Just want to make sure I'm good. All right, awesome, awesome. Nathan, I got the thumbs up. If you can hear you, I assume he's watching. So I assume he's probably watching anyway. But anyway, so I got involved with Mr. Strong back in 2009. Never sold insurance a day in my life. Get involved in the business with him. And it's funny. He tells me, Ollie, man, the best I think you're going to do in your first 3 months with us, dude, is probably, $6 to $8 grand. I'm just saying, if you work hard, 6 to 8 grand's real numbers. I'm like, shoot, dude, 6 to 8 grand's just not going to be enough. And I was stressed about my situation. Again, we ain't got time for all that. But anyway, long story short, I did it. And I did the marks he said. I made about 8 grand. And there was something else he kept saying. And he said, Ollie, if you do this bad enough, long enough, you too will make 6 figures in this business. Bad enough, long enough. Gee, goes, Ollie, listen, be patient. 5 years. Remember, activity solves all problems. Keep grinding, doing what you're doing. I'm telling you, within 5 years, you do this bad enough, long enough, you too will be making 6 figures. I was like, okay, dude. And I thought, you know what, we're just going to 10X that. And that's exactly what I did. My wife definitely was a major support and contributor in helping make that happen. I always share that my wife always has told me, we've never had a spending problem. We only have an earning problem. So you can understand. So mindset. And then Jamie tells me, Ollie, 5 years, bad enough, long enough. Okay. Well, the next 6 months, I made $101,000. And I have never looked back. And what's amazing about this business is the amount of people I've been able to touch, help, support through clients, through training. We now have an office. He was talking about in Oklahoma City. We also have an office that we're really excited and is thriving right now in North Carolina. I want to give a shout out to all my guys in North Carolina. Adam Jilicic is our branch manager. We have out there, we have a guy named Travis. We got a Taylor and Jeff. These guys have been out there grinding as well with them. We're just excited. Group that's really rising up there. So it's
awesome.
Good times. And man, here I am with you guys today. We've done podcasts, we've done a lot of social media stuff, and I'm getting back in as a company. COVID came in, we had some growth, I felt like, but at the same time, some of the poison of COVID. We lost some quality agents. We had some agents go through personal situations. We had some people that had to move, and man, just a lot of pain. And now I feel like we're starting to reroot some foundation, man, reroot some of our trees.
Yep.
And really go into another spot. And I was telling you this morning, Joe, I want to get on the phone with you. There's just some things I'm thinking about expanding on the PNC side that I want to get on the phone with you and powwow and learn a little bit from you. So I love that opportunity.
And what I hear in that too, though, and this is where I think this is the differentiator from people who, and again, and not to take away from those who lost or went through the pain and the suffering with COVID and how it really impacted and affected their business. But I think the one differentiator I've seen in the ones who have taken it to, what it is it's a pivot, right? It's not my business is over, right? It is, you've been able to pivot and you're starting up a new office. Maybe it's over here, right? Or hey, maybe we're looking at going into this different vertical, or not just stagnant, right? And I think I've seen a lot of agents that blamed a lot of their lack of activity, right? There's, what is it, stagnation? Is that even a word?
Sure.
But there's stagnation based on
complacency. Yep.
Exactly. And so I love that you said that too, because I think, and Tony, you've obviously been able to do it. We definitely did it here in Redwood. Was, hey, you know what, it ain't changing, at least for the foreseeable future back when it all first hit, right? So how can we pivot to really win, right? So I love that, you guys were able to do that.
Absolutely. I think a lot of agents used COVID as an excuse not to work. They're like, let me just, cruise for a minute. This will hang out for a little bit and then it'll pass over like a dirty cloud or something. But no, it stuck around for 2 solid years, and then we're just starting, I guess, to see some shakedown or a little bit of lighten up from it.
Yeah, I will tell you, working with the agency size that we do and the different people we work with, I mean, we're a solid LOA office that, give people the freedom that they want and still be able to get the contracts they need and get the support they need, right? So that's what I think separates us at Strong Family Financial. At the same time, but I think what happened with the COVID time was people got to stay at home. So if things were good, I'm telling you, your relationship probably would have gotten better. And if you were struggling at home, I'm telling you, baby, that thing festered and festered until it eventually just blew up. And now you're dealing with all the consequences from it. So when people thought things were okay, no, they weren't. You used to be able to go out and work for maybe 10, 12, 14 hours and hide from your problem that was at home. But dude, now you're stuck at home and now you're dealing with it.
That's good.
And it's a pain for people.
Absolutely. I hadn't even thought about it like that. What were some of the things that some of your top agents did to continue to separate themselves during that period?
Love that. Before I do, I want to give my win, though. You guys shared wins earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, you sold pulled pork back in the day. I love that.
Come on now. North Carolina. We were the tomato-based sauce.
Guys, I don't want to sound hokey. I think my win today is being highly favored. I know that sounds totally arrogant and stuff, but I just got to tell you, I drive in today to work. So today my son he's still in high school. He's 18. Joe, I've talked to you about my son historically before, but he's 18 now. He's graduating in a month. He got his insurance license. So today, because he doesn't have school, he's going out in the field with one of our agents. Yes, sir. He's going out with he's going out with Jeff. Tony's going Jeff Milburn, right? So I mean, that in itself is great. So he's going out with Jeff, one of our top guys, and they got appointments booked all day. So I'm driving up here, excited to get on with you, Joe, because I haven't been on the social media platform much. Me and Tony have been talking a lot about some of the things that we've been doing. Again, I've been doing some readjusting. I figured I'd share some of that as I continue to come out. And I feel like this show kind of kicked my butt. So I was thinking, because I knew Tony and I had talked about the Winning Wednesday thing. I was like, man, I want to be able to offer something. I'm just so fortunate. And I come here, it's like God just threw one at me. Man, this feeling I got to be able to come to the office. My son's car's in the parking lot because he's out in the field with another guy. My son's not out messing around. He's not sleeping in because he partied a lot yesterday. Here's my son, and I'm fortunate enough to be with him in the process.
Goals.
I'm my win is just God's gifts that He's just blessed me with, man. There's my win for that. I just feel so fortunate.
That's good. That's good, man. I love that.
Yes,
Those
sir.
who steward their talents well get more talents.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's about to get
exactly
deep.
how it works.
It's about to get deep.
Yes.
Everybody strap
Yes.
up.
Guys, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I got to go to my mouse for a second over the screen. 1 second.
Yep.
No problem, man. No problem. This dude's nuts. I love hanging out with my buddy Ollie. It's funny because we had worked together for about 10 years on some different products and actually never met. We had only had a phone relationship, phone and email. And finally, like, dude, you got to come up to Tulsa and hang out with us and meet the team. And so, yeah, 10 years later, I finally made a trip, went up to Tulsa. I got to hang out with him, got to hang out with the whole team. They took me to Oktoberfest, this big party they were having in Tulsa. We had a good time. And, and now I can't seem to get enough of the dude. So super pumped.
You're awesome. You're awesome.
So certainly, again, thank you for jumping on. So you mentioned obviously that you guys are going through a little bit of restructuring, right, from some of the turmoil over the last couple of years, some of the changes that have been thrust on y'all. Number one question again was like, what are some of the things like your top agents were doing that set them apart from the pack of agents?
I loved that Joe put on the title of the show, "Activity Solves All Problems," right? And that's what it is. It came back to I will just say like Jeff Milburn, Zachary Hanford are a couple guys that are here with us, that were here with us before COVID, well before COVID, and here they are grinding today. They do their own role, they have their own space with us. But you know what? It was during COVID when they were still, okay, Ollie, who do you need us to take out? Who do we need to train today? Who's the new guy that needs something? These guys found ways to try to stay busy. They tried to find ways to make more money, to try to get in front of more people when other people were freaking out. So I feel like they separated themselves by being consistent, putting that effort throughout the whole journey. And through that, what they did was they were great examples to bring on other people during the COVID times. Like we have Erica Curtis, that came on during that time, Justin Klusak, Zachary Dunlop. These guys all came in through this COVID pre-post deal, and then they saw the navigation of some of the experienced guys that maybe got a little complacent. This too shall pass. I got some money coming in. Man, the moment you take focus off what's important, what that says is you lack an appreciation for it, and it's going to start to diminish really, really fast. And I feel, man, that's what it is. When again, activity, patience. I need to practice more patience. It's every day getting better at it. It's the guys that had the patience that continue to work, not the patience to say this will blow over. Blowing over is not a strategy.
Yep.
Putting plans of action. I can run appointments on this day. I can do some phone stuff maybe on this day. We had some of these agents learn how to be more effective on the telephone. And how to be able to do some FaceTime sales. Not a lot. I'm not trying to claim Strong Family Financial is the expert at doing that, but we definitely are great at navigating, going out, doing door knocking, setting appointments where we're sitting outside the door and the client is inside the door. We're literally in the driveway, so they feel more secure. They know that this goofy guy that's talking to them isn't in some weird space. He's right there in your driveway.
He's right there and he's stalking you in your driveway. It's perfect.
That's right.
He's looking in through the window from the bushes.
Yeah. Well, those are some championship things that those guys do.
You said patience. Patience is one of our 3 Ps. We'll definitely have to do the House of Dreams with you. It's what we founded Redwood on. But one of the P, and you literally just hit the nail on the head with this. When you lose focus, like what you said, is because of the lack of it. I think it's hey, if you're losing focus, where's the passion, right? And one of our 3 Ps is passion. Are you passionate about it? And then with the patience comes the perseverance too, right? So those are our 3 Ps that, hey,
perfect.
Patience can be exercised when needed to be exercised, right? But really persevering through the grind, which obviously, and I wanted to just note, guys, you guys know probably how many people this guy has talked with or is connected with or has in his downline. But what I love the most is you were naming people by their first and last name. That to me is something that people might overlook. Okay. But you would know and appreciate these people, and I think that it shows because you can just spit all, hey, first name, last name, first name, last name. So I love that. Love it.
Well, Joe, I appreciate it. Well, remember, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You know, so if you can't say so, and that's why, look, I messed up names. Let's be clear, and I'm horrible. And I feel like a whole.
He messed up mine the other day in an email. He called me Lynn. Who the hell is Lynn?
Well, and you got to know though, Tony. Like I kind of have a rule. If I'm Siri emailing you or I'm Siri text messaging you, look, you're going to have to figure that part out on your own. My wife gets mad her name spells wrong sometimes on a text message. I'm like, look, if Siri doesn't know you have no E in your name, honey, there's nothing I can do about it. I've done it a million times, man.
Absolutely.
But, Joe, just remember, when we had you on before, we talked about the 3 Ps. So that wasn't done by accident.
Yep.
So I appreciate, though, you recognizing that. You know what she said, buddy, is this, and let's bring it down to the agent level, and then I'm going to take it up. Because so much sometimes when I watch these content, and this is some of the stuff I've been taking time out just to watch how people communicate and what message they're delivering. They're always up here talking about, you're going to need this, you're going to need that. Well, let's go to the root and then grow. Right? So what is patience about? Patience about not having the anxiety to passing the exam. So don't be anxious because that energy doesn't go anywhere. You're robbing yourself of the joy. Simple example. I'm going to go here. I'm going to make this quick with you guys about persistence and being patient. Woman calls me up last week. She's supposed to take the exam today. Again, this is last week, so like last Tuesday. And she's like, Allie, I'm not ready. And I'm afraid to take it. I said, okay, great. I said, we need a 70. How well do you think you'll do? I'm not sure. I said, okay, great. Listen, you got to go take the exam because we can't cancel it anymore. So we lost the money. So go take the exam. View it as a trial run. Now the pressure's gone. Small victories, because victories is what it takes to create more belief. But it's crazy. What comes first, belief or success? The chicken or the egg? I believe in God, so I believe life is formed. So I want you to know your visions were not accidentally put in your head. Okay? They were there by design. They're your message, not your neighbor's message, right? So you got to drive that, but we need small victories. So just go take the exam. Let's see how it goes. But Holly, I think I'm going to fail it. Great. Go practice the exam and go take it like a practice run. We hang up the phone. 3.5 hours later, she calls me. She gets a 71. Okay? Now, I did not know she was going to get a 71. I did not know she was going to pass the exam. What I did know, though, is her mindset was messed up.
Right.
So you guys read the books all the time. He was digging for gold. He was digging for gold. He was digging for gold. And then right before it came, he stopped digging.
Yeah.
She got a 71, guys. The difference on her getting a 71 and having her insurance license and having that monster victory that she thought she couldn't get. That's right. One question, but and you know, Tony, the choice was the true question, whether or not she was going to show up and take the exam.
Yep.
Stop this ego stuff about, I excel at all the exams I take. Who cares? You're not going to make any money on a 90. Okay? Go pass the exam. Small victory. They come on board. We have phases. Man, I would show you the board, but it has agents' names on there, and I don't want to. I'll cover it up, and I'll show you some other time.
Well, we already know most of them. Jeff Milburn, Zach Anford, Zach Dunlop. I mean, we've been writing them down as you've been rattling them off.
I've got this whiteboard behind me, and it's got every agent and where they are in their business, because what we've done is, with our LOA system, we've created a phase program. Agents have phase 1. Their goal is to make like $6,000. We got to measure that, though. Every month, every week, how do we get to $6,000? Your phase 2 guys, their next 3 months, we got to make at least $9,000. We're going to teach you how to make at least $9,000 in the next 3 months. $3,000 a month. And then we start working on that, right? We got a lady, her name is Tracy Wilde, that works for us. I want you to know, I believe she probably was going to quit in January. This woman has been nothing but beast mode, okay? This woman has been with us and was considering quitting. She was with us almost 9 or 10 years. I mean, 9 or 10 months. I'm sorry, 9 or 10 months. And she barely made $9,000. I'm not making fun of her. I'm just telling you all. She's patient and persistent. Patient and persistent. I said, hey, Tracy, we need to sit down. We need to put a plan together. Forget all this mumbo jumbo. You're supposed to make $15,000 now. In phase 3, we teach our agents to make $15,000. Or phase 4, you make $20,000. So we coach them and we teach them. We go through the stair-step model, right? I said, Tracy, forget all that. You and me, we're not worried about sales. We're going to sit and talk to people and make sure we get appointments. And once we did that, we started focusing on getting apps. We don't need 10 apps. I don't need 5. Oh, so they got 7 apps today. Great. We want 1. That's all we want. Okay, we just want 1. We set her up to get 3 apps a week, 4 apps a week, 5 apps. She calls me now, I got 11 apps this week. It's because when she was feeling horrible or she knocked on the door, Joe, and that person ignored them,
Yep.
they didn't get dismissed. She went on to the next one. The reason you're getting a rejection, the reason you're having difficulties, that's God's plan to create opportunity for you. But you got to be prepared for the next level. It takes the grind here to go to the next level and not be so good to not go back in the grind. So, Joe, part of the reason I'm not doing shows, dude, I've been out in the field with agents.
Come on now.
In North Carolina, I was in the field all week in North Carolina with guys. Because sometimes you got to get back in because we got to reroute, and man, we are growing. We're excited about things going on.
That's
Real
awesome.
quick, how many times did you have to take the insurance exam, Ollie?
Yeah, hey buddy, I took that insurance exam 5 times.
See, that's perseverance right there too.
I was 3.
You think 3?
Yep.
Hey, Joe, and isn't it true? You'll appreciate this, Joe. Isn't it true? See, the greater the struggle, the greater the appreciation. Isn't that
absolutely.
funny? And I know we know that, but don't we suck sometimes at patience? Man, it's not happening. Tony, I'm talking to you yesterday. Man, the meetings are just, we got to get the meetings we got to get these results here, or we're just going to have to do this. It's like, I know. Yep. And the challenge you have is with patience, is that the struggle, because when you're not patient, and then an opportunity comes, you may view it incorrectly because you're not being patient with the opportunity. Sometimes, man, you just got to step back.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you'll start making decisions based on this anxiety that you're living with. And you can't do that. You got to have clarity. And isn't it funny? The more you work, the more confidence you have.
Yep.
And it allows you to prepare for the next great opportunity and the next great, heartbreak.
Well, that's, I think the stepping back, right? Like, so for me on that 3rd exam, I was like, well, shit, here we go. Because at that point, my boss, the anxiety was definitely there, right? And I was self-studying from the freaking book, right? So I'm a horrible test taker. So I'm like a David Goggins, like I just got to read it and write it down so many times I freaking just memorize it, right? But that third time, taking a step back, because really I had to, because my boss said, hey, if you don't pass this time, like you don't have a job tomorrow, right? But being able to take a step back, really just trying to remove that stress, not the fact of, man, I may not have a job tomorrow, even though that was part of it. It was, hey, you know what? Maybe if I don't pass it this time, then maybe this wouldn't be for me, right? Because I've been putting in all this work, I've been doing this, and I was going through some changes, but that alone allowed me to just calm down. And then just go in, and like where I always fail on that test is I second guess myself. I'm like, man, I instantly go B. Oh, it's B. But then I'm like, ooh, man, but what if I'm like wrong? Like, what if it's C or D? And I'm like, and I just went in there and just was not stressed. And hey, you know what? It's gonna be what it's gonna be, right? That's so good, man. I love that you're out in the field.
Mathematically speaking, if you don't know the answer, you should always put B, because more often or not, the answer is B. That's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but works for me.
You guys want a fun field story real quick?
Damn, they told me it was C, Tony.
Probably equally B or C. I don't know. I just know I absolutely lights out aced my exam, but however good you do on the exam has nothing to do with how good you're going to be in insurance. Let's be really clear about that, because I sucked at insurance for a long time and I absolutely destroyed the exam.
That's great.
Yes. All right. Crazy field story. I want to hear this.
I'll share this. We're talking about patience and all this stuff, right? So I'm out with this guy from North Carolina, okay? And Travis and I are out at this lady's house, and we're just having a good time, and we're just talking with the lady, and it looks like we could sell some life insurance. Well, long story short, guys, we're in a rural town, and the internet just stinks. Okay. I tell the lady, look, 30 minutes. And you guys know how it goes. We're at the house. It's 3 hours now. Yeah. Okay. But here's the problem. It's not like 3 hours because we're sitting there, we're crushing it, needs assessment. We're just knocking it out, making all these sales. I'm trying to get the damn internet to work. Okay. So we can sell a life app. Okay. That's all I'm trying to do here. This ain't rocket science. Okay. So now I got my guy who's been in the business 3 months. Okay. Super sharp guy. Love this. As a matter of fact, this guy professionally danced. Him and his wife both are dancers all over the world, man. I mean, like top-notch performance kind of stuff. The guy's beast mode, right? But here he is now. I think he's 60 years old, lives in North Carolina, and he's selling insurance with us. And now we're in some podunk town in North Carolina. So he's on the computer, and I come out and I say, dude, so how much longer? What's going on? And he goes through, I want you guys to know, I met the man for the first time the night before. We've been working together and did some video conferences. Okay?
Yep.
And here's his message. Hey, Ollie, Yeah, Travis, what's up? Listen, when you get all worked up, it causes me to get all worked up. And then when I get all worked up, I can't navigate through the situation. You need me to get the internet to work, don't you, Allie? And I said, yeah, Travis, I do. He goes, I need you to be patient with me while this thing keeps turning. I want you to know.
That's gold.
I said, you know what, Travis? I just want you to remember. We told her 3.5 hours ago this was going to be 30 minutes. You don't remember. So you want me to come down? I need you to come up some. Okay, then we're going to try to find a median.
Yeah.
I understand. All right, buddy. Then you understand. Let's get back to it. And I'm telling you, he did a great job. But that's some honest communication. There we are on the field. No one's going to get bitter about the other. Let's get into this. You know, just did a good
I'm
job.
training Grace in the field one day when Grace first got started, right? I trained her out in the field a little bit because I wanted her to see the field, then I wanted her to see phone sales and let her pick which one do you like.
Yep.
So I'm training her out in the field, and we have this lead that's, man, it's in the middle of nowhere, Austin, Texas. It's in this area called Cedar Creek, which is just out in the middle of the trees.
All right.
I mean, there's no internet, no nothing. We're out there. This guy's probably got about a half-acre lot with a trailer home that he's living in, and we meet this man, and he's ready to sign up. We're going to put him on a very good UHC dual SNP plan. And same thing, can't get any internet. And I'm fully electronic app guy. I don't bring paper out to the field with me anymore. It's just, and I probably should have on this day, but I didn't. I didn't have a paper app or nothing. We were trying to use the telephone, right, with a mobile hotspot to plug into the laptop so we can get it going. And we can't get any internet firing whatsoever. And finally, we come to the conclusion, like, look, it's just not going to happen today. So we're going to go back home. We're going to get a paper app. We're going to reschedule an appointment and come back out and knock this out. As I'm walking out, and I'm walking out in his lot, and there's roosters running around, right? He's got a field of chili peppers that he's growing back over here, and all these roosters are clucking around. All of a sudden, I see my phone lights up with bars. I'm like, hey, wait a second. So real quick, I just grab a chair, and I'm sitting out in the middle of his yard for... Unbeknownst to me, there is really good internet in this one spot in the yard. So I sit down, plug my laptop in. I'm like, hey, Grace, we have internet right here. Go get that guy. Let's write this app. And so right in the middle of his yard, chickens running around. We write this poor guy's app. Then just to continue the story, we go back, after we write the app, we go back into his trailer because he wants to do a shot of tequila with me, because he's one of those kind of cool cats. And then we're sitting at the table and we're talking a little bit more, and he pours a shot of tequila and I have it. We chat a little bit more, and then I get up, and I felt so bad for the man because he didn't realize that he had just wet himself completely.
Oh, no.
All down his poor pant legs and everything. And I was like, man, this is rough. That was Grace's last day in the field. She was like, yeah, I don't ever want to go back out in the field again. Just let me do this from home.
You got to pray for people. Well, that's what we do, but we definitely serve. I do want to say, I want to challenge both of you guys, see what your thoughts are. So one of the things we pride ourselves at Strong Family Financial is we want our agents to be fully prepared when they're out in a house to sell the business. Not have any excuses, not have any reason that they couldn't get it done. So the mindset is this: as a new Strong Family Financial LOA guy, you're going to come on board and we're going to get you a packet of stuff. Because you're going to have the online stuff, right? So we're going to do all this stuff online.
Yep.
But what if you sell an annuity, and that annuity you sell requires a wet signature for the transfer docs? Do you have transfer docs? Well, Allie, how am I supposed to have transfer docs for 100 different ones? No worries, Strong Family Financial, we got you. Okay, what's going to happen is you're going to have fast mover companies, the more traditional ones that we sell, and you'll make sure you'll have those 5 or 6 different transfer type docs. What if you're in a house and you can't sell life insurance, but you need to sell life insurance? Who are your top 3 or 4 carriers? We at Strong Family Financial have identified those with companies we work with Tony and some of the major carriers. And they have core apps in the bag.
Yeah.
So this way, if something bad happens, you're always in a good space. You don't need to be anxious because you were prepared. It's funny. Patience is about preparation, isn't it? Just making sure you're prepared ahead of time. Solves all the problems, man.
And preparation comes with experience, right?
It does.
You know what I'm like? I think when you go through that and you're like, well, now I know, right? And I think sometimes it takes now, and this is part of it too. I was always like this growing up. Now I'm not even. I'm a sponge for the most part because it's like I always tried to do things my own way.
Sure.
And sometimes there are agents where you'll sit here and say this and they're like, that won't ever happen to me. I always have service, right? Or I always, this, and this. And then they have to learn it the hard way when in fact it's like, man, you got all these people that are telling you it is going to happen, right? Yeah. And it's like, but I think again but there's testimony in that. And that's what I love about your phases is that when people go to phase 2, imagine everything that they get to share with people that are in phase 1. Because it's like, man, I just was there, dude. And
That's
I just, this, and this.
Yep.
I love the phase system, almost kind of like a graduation, like you said, stair-stepping type of thing.
So look, because what'll happen is if you follow the model, you're going to make over 50 grand your first year.
Yep.
Allie, I need to make 75, 80. Okay. Let me get you to a space where I know that I can get you making $1,000 a week on a consistent basis. And then you know what? We'll go up to 1,200. We'll go to 1,500. We'll go to 2,000.
Yep.
Zach Dunlop was our man this past year's trainer of the year. Gets involved with us. Joe, you'll love his story, man. He's 26, 27 years old. Gets married, is married, has a kid, now has another kid. In the process of the last 16, 17 months of him being with us, he sets a goal his first year to make 40 grand. He makes 40 grand the last 3 months of his first year.
Wow.
Okay. He makes almost 80 grand the whole year. Right.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to do 90 grand next year. I'm like, dude, you're not doing 90 grand in 2022. Stop. Okay. You're going to make a lot more than 90 grand. Okay. I don't know. Well, all I know is 4 weeks ago, Zach Dunlop reports compensation paid to him in that week, $11,400.
Wow.
Okay. Besides that, he's earning quarterly bonuses that we offer. Okay. And the guy just keeps going. You know, but here's a guy that never did it. And all he says is, Ollie, I'll do what you tell me to do. I tell him he's got to start focusing on referrals. I said, if you focus on referrals and you ask it in this way and you do it this way, like we teach here at Strong Family Financial, I promise you, you will no longer need to buy leads. I need to make phone calls. I need to get on the dialer. No, you don't. Those are all form of God's punishments for not getting referrals. Get referrals. So
that's funny.
Well, I want you guys to know. I know, right? But listen, Zach now books 90% of his appointments from referrals.
Wow.
Zach now is handing out his referrals to other people that are selling stuff.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? Now you become your own lead generator and you're just handing things out. What kind of grace do you think you're going to get back, baby? You start giving out leads in 2 hands. You watch what's coming back.
Right.
Okay, it's going to be crazy.
Yep. That's good.
That's the deal.
What makes Zach Dunlop different from the rest of the team?
Great. Focus, discipline, want to. Yesterday we're reading a book by Robert Kiyosaki as a leadership team. We're reading the book Fake, F-A-K-E, by Robert Kiyosaki. If you guys are interested, okay, it's a solid book. Zach's in the group with us and he's reading this book with us. We're talking about interviews and people. I interviewed a young man the other day and he comes in wearing a suit jacket that's 3 sizes too big. And I was relating that to a part in the book about vision and young guys that are clueless and who they just need to be taught how to shave. They need to be taught how to put a tie on, and it may not be an investment you make here that you will see it all, but you're making an investment here for somebody that they might go do something tomorrow far greater than sell insurance with you. But you were a part of that. Well, as we're talking, Zach's like, well, you guys don't know this. I'll tell you. When I came and interviewed here less than 2 years ago, I didn't have anything. I actually wore my brother's suit and tie. That's how I came to interview.
Wow.
And now this is a guy that's just killing it, 18, 19 months later, So, buddy, persistence, driven. He's committed. I will say this, he's a Celebrate Recovery guy, 3 years clean. I went and watched his speech a couple of weeks ago. It was awesome. I got to go there and watch him and celebrate with him, So believe me, he's been where it's been dark. So I think he's got some value, appreciation, Look, the more gratitude you have, naturally, the more you work. It's just the nature. If you appreciate your opportunity, you will go to work. Right, Joe?
Yep.
Right, Tony?
Yeah.
I did not have to come on this show today. Thank God I get to come on the show today because I want to because y'all invited me. I did not have to come to this office today to work today. Thank God I get to come to work today.
Right.
I have an opportunity, a career. I work with people. I get to touch a lot of people and I get to make money. I get to provide for my family. I get to talk about Jesus. I get to do all the things I wanted. I get to do these things. Man, I have to get ready. My kid's got this thing going on. Man, I have to make this happen. Man, I got to work extra time to buy this. No, I get to buy this if I go do this. Isn't that cool?
Yep.
I get to. And when you do get versus have tos, you take the responsibility away. See, Tony, you get anxious because you have to do this. Stop have to do anything. Only do the things you get to do. Now you get to do it out of joy and appreciation. Now your mind views it completely different, and you can move forward in a radically different way.
Well, and I think as a leader in a leadership role, like what you just said, you said it just a couple of minutes ago, that it's a perfect tie-in to the get to is, for me, like something that I've always struggled with is wanting it more than the agents want it, right? So I love that you said the want to, because you gotta want to, right? And that goes back straight to we're talking a lot about the 3 Ps. Is like, man, you gotta want to. There's got to be some passion and some fuel. Like you should want to win, right, and provide. And like, but it also comes through with a grateful heart. Like for me, anytime I wake up and I feel like I'm tired, or man, I got all this crap I got to do today, blah blah blah. I even take it even further back to the point of, man, I got a roof over my head and clean water to drink. Like, I mean, literally that alone, when I get to wake up in my nice Tempur-Pedic bed, right, and I get to take and it's like all these things that I think we take those small things that we take for granted, that alone, man, it's like, man, I get to do, like, go sit in a nice office, have calls like this, learn from people, help people, make money. I mean, it's so, I'm like spot on.
Perspective.
Yeah.
You said sometimes people you work with, you want it more than they want it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready? Isn't that funny? Because you guys know I'm a faith guy. It's always said that Jesus forgives us. Jesus loves us. Jesus says it's okay. Why do we keep beating ourselves up? God forgives you. He wants you to be happy more than you want to be happy for yourself, because you're too busy not being happy.
Right.
It's the same principle, man. That's biblical stuff. When you are a servant and you serve others and you believe in what you love, everything changes. But what you're not getting, Joe, when we work with these people and they don't give us what we want, they don't see what we see. But it wasn't delivered to them. It was delivered to you. It was delivered to Tony. This vision with him and his wife and this whole plan that some people probably thought he was nuts about, and he's going to stretch himself thin and all this other stuff. Okay. He's on a path. We just pray that he does it with patience, good decision making, and he goes on and builds himself up, whatever it is he's doing.
Yeah.
Just plan and prepare. Be consistent. Be persistent.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Be prepared. That is step 3 in the 8 steps of success I might share with y'all someday. Well, listen, guys, this has been outstanding. Ollie is on a schedule, and I want to keep tight with that and keep honest with it. I know he's got an appointment coming up here pretty soon to go sling some life insurance with one of his teammates.
Let's go.
We don't want to keep him from that.
Okay.
But really want to thank you for being on the show. This has been very insightful. We got to talk about perspective. We got to talk about gratitude and understanding how to be prepared and really set things up for yourself in a very patient manner. So real
keep
quick,
going.
Ollie,
So good.
we could easily keep going with this, and we'll definitely have you back. But real quick, Ollie, how can people out there in Syndicate Land get in touch with you if they're looking to reach out to you, kind of find out more about you, and maybe even get a chance to work with you in some capacity?
Absolutely. I would love to talk to anyone and anybody. My cell phone number is 918-513-2797. Also, please email me anytime or text me on that cell phone number. But my email is Saleh. I assume you'll have it up or something. Oh, it's right there. Okay. So it's my first initial, last name at stronglife.com. And it's strong, STRONG. Life is LYFE. The reason we spell it with the Y is because you got to have purpose. You got to have desire. That's what the Y represents. .com. So
absolutely.
I want to say, Joe, Tony, thank you guys for getting me back on with you guys. Part of my process is when I was going to start getting back on. I appreciate the reboot and helping, move that needle forward as well for us and allowing me to be on with you guys. I feel like I always learn and I get so much from you all, so I appreciate it. Thanks for all the people that listen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Joe, I definitely, like I said, I'll be hollering at you because I'd like to talk to you here tomorrow about some other stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, man. So much. I mean, that's just spot on. I hope everybody resonated with all the gold nuggets that were dropped today. And hey, it's Wednesday. The week ain't over. Let's get out there. Let's keep winning, baby. If Ollie's out in the field, maybe you should be too, right?
Leading from the front, like a true champion, man. Leading from the front. That's a huge thing. I have a ton of respect for you for that, right? A lot of guys, once they get themselves out of the field, they're like, no, I never go back on the field. I'm done. You go figure it out. Here, I'll sit on my whiteboard and train you, and then take that out in the field and do it. But for a guy to kind of step back and go, hey, I got to go back out in the field, cut and grind, and let my leaders see what it's like and let them follow me. That's huge. I've seen you do it. I've seen my buddy Pete Fournier do it. Like I've seen guys just get out there and be like, this is how we're going to get it done. Let me show you how we get it done. And that's how you rebuild your team and get it going. So thank you again, Ollie. Thank you for being one of those guys that does lead from the front. You're a phenomenal example of the business. And again, we are very happy to have you on. So thank you again, everybody.
Thanks.
Let's have a phenomenal Wednesday. Put it into overdrive. Let's close this week out strong. And we will see y'all next week, 9 a.m. Central, live on the Syndicate.
All righty. Later, y'all. Go crush it.